On today's episode of Garage Talk, the Masters is finally underway, so I can shut up about it. And racing this weekend was a bit of a
Yeah, and also we talk about our iRacing and the IndyCar Indy Racing World Series from Mid Ohio, which I ended up back in the booth because I thought that and more right now. All right, welcome to an all new episode of FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook,
I'm Eric Richardson.
and I've got the Miami Vice thing going on this week with the Homestead Miami Speedway shirt. The the track shops have a store, and I've been doing that. I've been kind of hunting around, and I wait for them to like clearance out like track shirts, and then I'll get them for like 10 or 15 bucks or whatever. And I also buy like Phoenix Raceway also uses that, and I got my finally got my championship weekend 2024 shot glass for like 2-3 bucks or whatever now. So
Not bad.
that's right. I'm gonna hit the clearance sale. If it's still there, it was meant to be. If not, oh well.
One thing is nice is this is coming out. We're in round two of the Masters.
Round two of the Masters on CBS. Gonna play the music. We'll dub that in.
At some point we should almost just do golf announcing for the NASCAR broadcast on Fox because they're catching all sorts of heat.
They are.
They got to change something.
I mean, you could just hear the frustration in the booth with the production. It's just like they're not even hiding it anymore.
Are
And
they just putting all their money into IndyCar and just trying to get out of NASCAR as quick
it
as possible?
it it kind of feels that way. That it's like, okay, we got our shiny new IndyCar toy. They're putting all that effort into it. NASCAR is just kind of like, yeah.
Even Richard Petty kind of throwing shots during the race.
I caught half of his interview, but I did not specifically hear what he said.
I was watching and had it on, but I kind of half listening. It was kind of funny.
I like before the race how they were trying to convince Carl Edwards to get Denny Hamlin to do a backflip if he won. And then, Denny wins. And then he's like, I'm not doing a backflip. I'd land on my head.
Carl
Because I
Edwards'
would because
signature move.
I wouldn't even get around. Honestly, was there a more iconic celebration than Carl Edwards backflip off the car after he'd win?
Not in NASCAR, but the only thing I can think of
The
really
fence.
is Castro Nevis
Yeah.
climbing the fence.
I mean, that's like my favorite part of Carl Edwards winning is like, is he going to land on his face when he does his backflip? And he had a couple of close ones I remember over the years where he didn't quite stick the landing and kind of had like I mean, the feet got down, but he just kind of like went, ooh. And, there were a few close ones, but
Yeah, he had a
no,
few opportunities to do a backflip.
I mean, I guess, Ross Chastain smashing watermelons, but, there's only been a handful of those. But yeah, it's just Carl Edwards. That was the thing I always enjoyed, just watching him to pull up, park it, and do a backflip right off the car.
Yeah, those are fun. Hey, yeah,
We have a new partner.
yes, we do.
We have a new partner. It's such a big deal that it's you're Eric. You're wearing a watch. When was the last time you wore a watch?
Other than a Fitbit, never.
So it's this is so good that Eric's even wearing a watch. So we're excited that we are now partnered with Nixon Watch Company. Very very excited. Good brand, good watches. They've got a very nice variety of entry level watches that you can get for under $40. Or if you want to spend $1,500 on a watch, go for it. I most certainly did not because my wife would kill me if I spent $1,500 on a watch. But
Still to be determined if I actually wear it.
don't say that. Oh no. But yeah,
No,
so we're excited to be part of the Nixon family, and
Very excited.
yep. And coming up with truck season, you'll see us running a couple of Nixon paints this time around in the Nixon watch. Yeah, they have like
It's
a
fun.
fishing watch, like a tide. It has like it has like the tides on it. I mean, if I live near the ocean, that'd be kind of cool, but I don't.
I live right across from water, but it's not tides.
I don't.
It's funny. Part of me is growing up. The other part of me still buys kids' toys.
I mean, like, let's be honest here. Like, we've got all kinds of. You got the Ghostbusters, you got the Ecto One, you got the GT40 there, and we'll get to about Formula One. Ooh,
The
that
original racing, Mario Kart.
very nice. That's yeah. That's every kid born after about 1990 uh experienced Mario Kart at some point. But the Japanese Grand Prix, pretty boring.
I'm kind of disappointed I stayed awake to watch that.
I during qualifying on Friday night, I ended up building my Aston Martin Lego here, and I was regretting that I didn't save it for the race because this was far more entertaining. I mean, building Legos is entertaining, don't get me wrong.
Have you
But
driven it through the sand yet?
hey, look, I'm Lance Stroll. Oh, actually, I don't want to break it, but
No, that's the Williams.
we have that too. Yeah, Lance would beach it, so then we can trash the Williams. I mean, if they wouldn't have run the race and just basically finished with the qualifying order,
They could have.
not much would have changed.
The top six stayed the same. The top 10 almost did.
I, I think, I mean, you had the lawnmower moment with Lando and Max exiting the pit,
He pushed
and
me off.
yeah, yeah, and
No.
they're in the cool down room after the race, and Max and Lando are watching it, and Oscar Piastri is standing there as well watching this. And that was like the main highlight. It was like the start of the race, the lawn mowing incident, and the finish.
Yep.
And Oscar was like, "That those are the only highlights from the race."
Literally, that's it.
uh, I mean,
I like how the stewards were like, yeah, there's nothing to see here.
there's just there was some radio chatter. Nobody wrecked.
Albon's not happy with his crew.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
and
guys make no sense.
Ferrari had a what was the Ferrari line that was kind of funny? I don't. I have to go back and look at
I
it,
don't
but
remember.
it
One of
wasn't.
us
It
is three
wasn't.
hours
It wasn't as
later than the other.
it wasn't as dumb as the uh, oh,
Water.
they were talking to Charles Leclerc about the strategy, and he's like, "Yes, I know. There's a reason I don't do that." And then Lewis goes on the radio later on, and he's like, "Where am I slow? I need some info." And like, turns 8, 9, 10, 12. He's like, "I need times."
It's funny. The race finished up and going through social media, and you see a couple different people talking about it. There's so many tracks that you just cannot pass in these cars.
Well, I mean, the big highlight of the weekend was the grass catching on fire. And it rained before the race, so they didn't have any fires. But it's you could tell it was just so dry that it just did not take much to set the grass on fire. And I mean, how many times did they have to stop
I think it
a
was five.
session? Yeah,
I think
because
it
they had
was
to put out a
three and
fire.
two or three and one, maybe four.
So they move it to the spring to get away from the heavy rains. So instead, they bring it to the driest part of the year, and then they set the track on fire. Literally set the track on
Yeah,
fire.
sounds about right.
I mean, there's really nothing further to discuss. I mean, Max had that just absolute rocket of a lap, broke the track record, just obliterated the track record. and just everybody was completely caught off guard by that.
That's the other big piece too. Piastri asking to get through Norris to try to put pressure on Verstappen. Even the commentators were like, they should let Piastri go just to try to burn up some tire and give Norris a chance at the win. And McLaren goes, no.
It was just that was
Do you think
that.
there's going to be issues at McLaren
I think
before the
eventually,
end of the year?
I think eventually, yeah.
As they say, they're on equal terms, but
That was on equal terms. He's like, I've got more. Does Lando? Nope, Lando doesn't. But
I'm sure before you would see let that team car go through, then if it doesn't happen within
uh,
X number of laps or on the last lap, all right, let them through.
I've never seen. I texted this to you after the race. I said I have never seen a team less thrilled about a double podium ever. Like both of them on the podium, it was just kind of half smiles and they popped the champagne and they're just kind of like okay. That it just they just did not look happy at all. If they don't get that under control here soon, yeah, this is gonna fall apart. I mean,
Mhm.
right now they're clear heads clear the favorite for the constructor, but if this they have a meltdown,
Yeah,
who
no one's
knows?
going to challenge them because Ferrari is going to do Ferrari things. Mercedes, who knows?
Mercedes is like fourth, fifth.
Red Bull is a one car team. And then, yeah, after that, we have,
I mean,
we
Williams
hopefully
is in
score a point.
fifth, I think, aren't they? Are they still in fifth, or did they slide? Let's see. Been a
Yeah,
while since
essentially the
Williams
other
has been
teams
in
are
fifth.
just scrapping for the final 6 points every race.
Yeah, Williams is in fifth. How about Ollie Berman though?
Yeah, had a good run.
Ollie, I think very highly of him. Especially like last year when he stepped in to Ferrari and finished in the points and on very short notice and looked really good. And then he comes
Held
in
on to
and
a top 10 for a long time as
yeah,
well
mhm,
in the point standings,
yep, yeah,
running one race.
yeah, running one race, but and then he goes to Haas, still running pretty darn good out there, and then he dropped his secret why he ended up in Q3, and that
Yeah,
reason was
thank you, iRacing.
thank you, Iris.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's funny.
the iRacing line is how he practiced. That's what he ran. And it got him into Q3. And he made a mistake early in Q3 on his lap, is what, ended up being his final lap time. He could have even been higher, starting higher if he didn't make that mistake.
I guess even Max did the same thing as it's coming off the final turn and getting to the inside wall.
Well, I mean, we know Max and he's his love for iRacing and simulation.
Yeah, you sent me something too, and one of the comments, or I think a caption on the thing from the poster was professional sim racer, Formula One hobby driver. It's like, wait a second. It's probably true. Is
Remember last year when his car caught on fire and it was the which one was that? That
that
was
Australia?
yeah, it was Australia, but he was doing they were making a joke like I had to go set my car on fire so I could come back to the sim. But then they were giving him a hard time, Max giving him a hard time because he was doing a endurance race in the sim and then had to get up early the next for the actual race and they were just ripping on him. I forget who it was. Who was maybe was it Crofty? Somebody
I
was
don't
ripping on him
remember.
pretty brutally for spending all that time doing the sim and staying up late, and then he goes out and just
Just
runs,
destroyed
just destroyed
everybody.
the field. It's like okay, like you owe that man an apology.
So what have we found out with Red Bull?
a one car team. Max is seriously covering up the deficiencies in that car. He's
Suzuki drove.
Max is an alien.
Yeah, Max is just unreal.
I just it's like after he finished that lap and they showed like uh, during Q3 it's like it was like sector 1 Piastri, sector 2 Norris, sector 3 Piastri. Max Verstappen breaks the breaks the lap record. It's like what?
Yeah, he caught it all in sector three.
Yeah. But he still wasn't the fastest in any sector during Q3 and still broke the track record.
Yeah,
Unreal.
it's just crazy what he's doing with a deficient car.
It's a deficient car. He's not like the whiny Max that people didn't like has gone away and he's turned into like Chaos Agent Max. It's like he's had this like complete evolution that usually when you have people that keep winning, people like you less and less, but it's like the opposite for him. That people are like, okay, this guy's hilarious. Just his open rebellion against the FIA, is his sim is just the sarcasm. It's just like he's turned this into this total package. Like, how can you not root for this guy?
And he's not being a villain at all.
No,
He's being the good guy doing this, which is
no,
awesome.
he's just like, I'm gonna go drive. I'm just gonna, crack jokes. I'm gonna make, it's there's that I'm sorry that I forget the name of the account, but they every week after a weekend they do the Red Bull Comedy Club videos, and it's just like the best of like the Red Bull drivers just cracking jokes, and some of them are like super cheesy and lame, but it's more or less turned into like the Max Comedy Club because like 90% of the clips is just Max being Max, and it's hilarious. It's just so funny.
And does the second car score a point this year?
Yeah, they have to.
Think law of large numbers.
Yeah.
Eventually something's gonna happen to line up to score.
I mean, Logan Sargent got a point eventually, sort of, after disqualification.
That may be what it takes to get that car to get a point, which is wild.
I mean, if that car just keeps getting worse, Max's ability cannot overcome that forever. I think he's going to leave Red Bull.
A lot of rumblings about possibly going to Mercedes.
I mean, I don't know where else he would go. Unless
If he
there's
does
a
go, who does he replace?
Honestly, I think it just depends on Kimmy. If Kimmy is has a pretty solid season, shows that, I think they might run George. I mean, Max, well, here's the other thing is, I mean, it sounds like that beef has been squashed between the two of them, but between Max and George. But given how ugly that got for a while, do you really think them as teammates would work?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And I think that's it. Is as long as Kimmy proves to be a viable driver, which so far he's looked good.
I could see Alonso having a tall ask of him this year too to show that the Aston Martin's viable.
Yeah. So far it hasn't.
We'll see kind of where that goes. Maybe it's more Newey's working on the 2026 car,
I think that's a lot of it. It's just I think you're gonna get to the point where they just like whatever. Yeah, Alpine is the only team to not score points so far this year.
which is crazy. Kick has scored points already.
Well, they got him in the first race. Yeah, Gasly, Alonso, Lawson, Doohan, and Bortoleto have zero. Carlos
Amazing
Sainz,
Gasly doesn't have a point yet.
Sainz has one. Yuki has three. Hey, Isaac Hajar. I have to give him a pat on the back. He looked pretty good this weekend.
The Racing Bulls are much easier to drive than the Red Bulls.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Lance Stroll, currently in 10th with 10 points. Actually tied for ninth with Ocon.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see kind of the next 4 to 6 races. I think that's going to really start to tell us a lot of who's going to do what and how things are going to go.
Here's something that's kind of wild. Alex Albon in the Williams is currently in seventh with 18 points. He is 3 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He is 2 points behind Charles Leclerc. You have a Williams who's almost ahead of both Ferrari after 3 races.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting next few
Hilarious.
weeks.
Oh man. All right, well, race was boring. A lot of other good stuff though.
Hopefully, we get an entertaining race.
Before we
I
get to
don't like
Darling,
watching parades.
before we get to Darlington, we have to talk a little bit about Mid Ohio.
Yeah, you didn't run it.
I did not run it, and yeah, so a
You
couple
made a
weeks
visit to the broadcast booth.
I did, and I ended up having to take first seat last night, unexpected. Again, Taka gave me like 20 minutes notice. He's like, "Can you run the broadcast tonight?" I'm like, Taka. He forgot his DisplayPort to HDMI adapters, and he only had one monitor.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. So I'm like, fine. Like I will get this loaded up. I'll run for a seat tonight. And so a few weeks ago I mentioned that I sprained my ankle. I rolled my ankle and breaking up a fight with my kids. And so I went to urgent care. They did the x-rays, like we don't see a break. We're calling it a sprain. I'm like, okay, it doesn't really feel like a sprain, but it did feel like a break either. And so I went to my foot doctor on Monday for the follow-up. He comes walking in, he's like, "They told you had a sprain?" I go, "Yeah, I didn't really buy it either." And he goes, "Yeah, your foot's broken." I'm like, "What?" I mean, it didn't really matter because I got the boot here. I'm not wearing it now because I'm not wearing it. I'm sitting here. But I was in the boot for like a month anyway. And so that really didn't change anything. But he's like, yeah, and he pulls up the X-ray. It's like you look at kind of the side view of my foot, and he's like, you see that line right there? He goes, that's a break. I'm like,
Yeah, that shouldn't be there.
no, that shouldn't be there. And I go, like, I didn't see the X-rays. They didn't show them to me at urgent care. But like the PA looked at it, they sent it to a radiologist. Like, yeah, we don't see a break. And like, yeah, because they probably only X-rayed the top of the foot and the ankle, and it was kind of the side to the bottom, and that was the only place you could see it. So yeah, they missed the break. But I mean, it's not really changing anything. But uh, so I did two Wednesday night dash races. One was Atlanta, so I didn't really have to use my brake hardly at all except to pit. And then Texas, I wrecked after one lap. But I mean, I did a lot prepping for it. And it hurt a little bit, but it wasn't terrible. But Saturday, I did about an hour at Mid Ohio getting ready for this week. Next morning, I wake up and my foot is just totally swollen. And I'm like, I can't run this race. Like, I'm just going to set my foot. Like, I cannot set my foot back that over Mid Ohio, which I'm going to probably do poorly anyway.
You're breaking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm like, just practicing for an hour. It's just my foot was just like it was swollen. I could barely fit. Well, I mean, if I tried to put my foot in a shoe, it wouldn't fit. It was that swollen.
Jeez.
Uh, so I texted Taka. I said, "Move over. You've got company in the booth tonight." And he goes, "Cool, great. It sucks for your foot, but hey, I'm glad to have you up there." And then yeah, like a half hour, 20 minutes, half hour before we go live, he's like, can you run the stream tonight? Like, oh, okay, fine. I go, I'll count us in and run the stream, and it was good. It was fun too. I was getting roasted by some of our Wednesday night dash drivers came in, and uh, I couldn't tell the difference between sarcasm and compliments, which is fine because I deserved it, and uh, I got called out like, oh yeah, of course that you broke your foot and need to sit out on road course week. Thanks, Garrett. Appreciate it. And he goes, you'll get your revenge because he's going to be in he's going to do the GT League for Spa. later on this summer when we're there. So he said you can rip him all I want during the broadcast. I said fair enough. So you had a rough night.
I actually had a really solid night, I thought. I was
I
just
mean,
slow.
you finished what, a lap down, I think.
Yeah, to only be one lap down and only had like four off tracks,
It
and
wasn't
I
anything
kept
bad.
it super consistent.
So doing a road course by yourself in a broadcast is extremely difficult. Just because there's just, especially when you get spread out, there's just so much to watch, and you might catch something on the timing screen, but it helps so much having Taka kind of bouncing around as I'm running the broadcast. He's like, "Whoa, Hunter just went off track," and you quick change, do the replay, shuffle back 20 seconds, you catch the replay. So yeah, road course with a tandem honestly is a must. Like it is extremely difficult to do that by yourself. And the
Yeah,
camera views at Mid Ohio are not great either. Like we ran on the blimp cam for a lot of the night because that just until we started seeing some like two-car battles, while I was still packed together of 4 or 5 cars, the blimp cam was like the only thing where you could consistently see everybody.
yeah. Ian Miller had great pace, got back into victory circle, so congrats to him. But the
He
others, they just had better pace and they kept it closer to themselves. I was not a second and a half, 2 seconds off. I don't know what they were running
Ian
later in the stint.
accidentally started the race in fuel map 8.
Yep.
Messed
He's like,
up
what
his start.
is happening?
Messed up his start, but once he got back up there, yeah. Well, and Derek, I never did find out why Derek started from the pits.
I was a tire selection.
Oh, oops. So he started from the pits, and he was just blowing through his push to pass to try to catch the field, and then he had a off track and destroyed his front wing, and it was kind of over for him after that. But his 3 race win streak has ended.
My only goal really to try to move up was to hope that somebody had to pit early and do a two stop and I could stay close enough doing a one stop. And I knew I wasn't gonna be able to compete, so I just kind of cruised and
Do you have
didn't
to use any of
push.
your fast repairs?
Nope.
So you're just a little off pace and a couple off tracks.
Yeah, and those were just simple words like, oh, I slightly dipped the tire in the grass. iRacing 1X. Come on.
There was a part where Hunter and Lucas were going at it pretty aggressively, and Hunter tried to pass him on the outside on the beach area and tried to late brake. It just kind of like skewed off the track. It just kind of went, ooh, just kind of holding your breath, like, oh, and he saved it. But it was thing is he pulled a pass off at that same spot a while back, and I think it was him, where it was just one of those like really late breaks into that turn, and you're just kind of like, oh, how's he not gonna overshoot that? And he didn't.
Yeah, pretty much from the beginning of the race, I'm just driving along going all by myself. That's pretty much what I did the entire race.
We're just checking back in on you periodically, like, "Hey, Eric's still back there.
Yeah, he's tootling along.
He's still
Grandpa
there."
back there.
And I mean, we had some good battles, and then it got spread out at the end, and it's just kind of like, it's like, all right, let's bounce this around, show everybody, and call it a night. Right, that went surprisingly quick for a 50-lap road course race.
Yeah, when you're running
One,
109,
one,
110
yeah.
lap times, it's gonna go fast. But it's gonna show. Even we've had big fields, we've had smaller fields here recently. Racing's been fun,
Yeah.
and we got a lot of room to grow here. But we're gonna keep it going, whether 5 people are starting or we got 20 starting.
I mean, when it was the behind closed doors, you ran 3 people some weeks.
Yeah, we were 3 cars out on track, and we had a blast.
Yeah. I mean, there were some really good finishes. We had 4 or 5 car starts. It just like we're
Yeah,
not. yeah, this series isn't going away because we might have a little down. And I showed you this too. There's a website where you can look up iRacing public iRacing leagues and sort it by car, you can sort by day and start time, and there are only and it pulls you up in the filter if there's more than 10 accounts assigned to the league. And there are only 13 IR18 leagues out
That's
of
just wild to me.
yeah, out of how many drivers, active drivers on that platform. And I'm not really surprised about that. IndyCar is kind of niche in on the platform. I wish
It
more people would
really
try it.
is. They're so much fun to
They
drive.
are. They're a lot of, I mean, you just can't bang them around like a stock car, but once you get that, this isn't a stock car. You can't bang, door
You can
somebody.
you can knock wheels a little
Yeah,
bit,
a little bit, but
but you can't door somebody.
yeah, yes, you can't door somebody, and once you get that out of your head, it's like okay. But it's close, it's intense, it's a lot of fun on both oval and road course, and just hope we can interest some people that maybe you didn't consider IndyCar on the platform, but we're
Next week, I
running.
know we're gonna have a
No, of
really good
course,
field
the marquee event of the season.
going to Indianapolis. I already know of, I think, 5 drivers that are coming in that aren't regulars.
I
So
have
that's gonna be
a
a lot of fun.
I have a bit of a little issue I have to work out for next week because next Tuesday night is my wife's birthday.
Mm,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah. Why did you schedule Indy on my wife's birthday?
Why did I schedule a race when I was gone for spring
Yeah,
break
that too. Like, what the hell?
and then had an empty week for no reason? Because I forgot what week it was.
Well, and I mean, you gave the extra week for the road course.
Yeah, that
I mean, it
I
makes
think I
sense.
was off a week on when break was, and that's why it was weird.
I mean, it is what it is. But um,
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to these last 3 races. Indianapolis is going to be fun. Then go to Dover.
Dover, that's gonna be
I've
intense.
done an official, and I had so much fun running it. And
It's
then
one of
we'll
those you don't have a ton of space, but it is fast. And you can early on in the run, once your tires are up to speed, you can hold it wide open and it will stick. You
so
can
it's gonna
hold
be
it.
fun to see who runs low and who runs high line.
You can, yeah, you can run full throttle all the way around the track when you have clean air, and it just. I think the caution's going to be used a couple of times next week. Or at Dover. Well, probably Indy too, but at Dover for sure.
Yep, one fast repair. So if you're running and listening, just keep that in mind.
But yeah, like if you haven't considered running IndyCar, you really should. I mean, it's an iconic sport. The marquee event of Indianapolis is a lot of fun to begin with. We already always have good turnout for that. It's just, we got to get you out to the other 9 races in the season as well.
And looking at a couple tweaks on scheduling, I think as we move into 2026, just make it fun and really try to keep it entertaining as well.
Thing is, though, people are tuning in and watching the Indy races. We're having really, really good turnout. I mean, I mean, our most watched race of 2025 was the season premiere at Kentucky. Out of all of our races we've done, we've broadcasted this year, which is pretty wild.
That was a
Or
good race.
it was a good race. It was a really good race. And our most watched race ever was the finale to Indy last year.
Yeah, 250 miles at Indianapolis.
And it was intense. It's weird that
We
I
had
don't know,
so
maybe
many people come out for that one.
just you've maybe like I mean this room gets hot. This is like one of my hottest rooms in the house, and then you have the gaming PC just spitting out heat, and but like after a long intense race like that, I'll be like sweating as I get up from being seated there. It's like I just sat for the last hour and 45 minutes. Why am I all sweaty? Like,
Well, we got to get your foot healed up because we're a little over a month away from the big one, the iRacing Indy 500.
yeah, I'm fine. For oval racing, especially Indianapolis, where maybe a tiny little brake tap at the end of a run or just, pitting. I can do that. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Just be heavy on the brakes the first like 20 laps until everybody crashes out. Still amazes me what people. I'm gonna do this crazy move on lap two.
It's just like, why?
Oh, I just crashed out four cars. Good job,
I
genius.
mean,
You only had
remember when you
198 to go.
ran it a couple years ago, and you ended up being the de facto pole. You got what, like 50 yards past the start finish line on the first green flag, and it was under caution, and you could just see the carnage in your mirror.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
and the
come
way
on.
that everything works, it doesn't get split based on your iRacing iRating. You during the week you have to go through your qualifier and set your four lap average. You can do that as many times as you want. And then it's the top 33 split one, next 33 split two, next 33 split three. So if
So
I'd been like 2/1000ths of a second faster, I would have been starting 33rd.
33rd and the next higher skill
And
level.
then
Yeah.
next high, well, not even skill level. You could
Okay.
actually have a worse skill
That's
level
true.
in a higher split. So it's kind of a unique event where generally your highest I ratings are split one and it just works down.
So you're telling me I need to sandbag for 4 laps. My 41 second 41 second laps around the track.
I would venture for the most part, you're going to see the better I ratings at
Yeah.
the top, and then you're going to slowly trickle down. But you're going to find the 500 I rating that knows how to drive four fast laps because all they do is time trial.
Yep. And have
But
zero
then they get
racecraft
into
whatsoever.
the race, it's like, what are you? How are you in this split? You don't even know what you're doing. So that's exactly what it is. They only time trial and they don't race, and then it's like, hey, my first race, I'm going to do the 500. Not a
No,
smart idea.
no, don't do that. Yeah.
Yes, so it was fun. I got pole.
I mean, the good news is I should be out of the boot by the 1st of May. So I'll get to, we got Indy season coming up. I put over the weekend, I put a new wall mount for my TV that I can actually pull the TV out and angle it now. So I don't have to do like
Nice.
this anymore on live streams. I can just turn it and this is the view now. So this is looking forward to using that.
Works.
Uh,
So speaking of Indy, we finally get to see them race again.
oh
This time at
yeah.
Long Beach in the
There were a
iconic
lot of people
fountain
just
turn.
railing on IndyCar and their schedule and the gaps and the country club race, which I'm not a fan of, is well documented.
This beginning part, starting this weekend, it gets a lot better
Yeah.
and it makes a lot more sense. But these first two races and how far spread out they are is mind-boggling. Unless it's just availability of when they can run at St. Pete or run at Thermal.
I mean, you wait too much longer and start getting into the warmer weather. Running a race at St. Pete is brutal.
And the warmer it gets, you're getting into spring break traffic and
So
all
it's like
sorts of
they got to
stuff.
do it while it's still cooler outside and get that done. And don't have Texas to bridge that gap anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you run that first race and then you take a 3 week break and you get so much momentum going into it. It's like, hey, first race season is here.
And then,
Snooze.
snooze fest that nobody can attend. And then you got to wait another couple of weeks before Long Beach, which is a great event. I mean,
So momentum will start to pick up here, but they hype it up and then lose all of it. You need something to keep it going.
you have
Be great early season Homestead race weekend after St. Pete. Go down to Homestead.
you got the Arlington race next year coming on the schedule.
Yeah, that'll help, but it's still Oh, man, even go you test there, go race at Sebring.
I was told the reason why they do not race at Sebring is strictly a safety issue. And it's just the way the fencing is there that there's a possibility that you have a bad accident and you could kill spectators with the speeds that they drive, which
Yeah,
is
and you
on
don't want that.
yeah, obviously you don't want that. I mean that almost sunk Sebring as a track initially. Like they had a their 12-hour race in like the 60s and they killed like a dozen spectators in an accident and almost shut the track down, and they had to do a lot of work to revamp it to make it safer to keep it going, and glad they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like they got to get through this feud with NASCAR and let them go back to some of these NASCAR tracks.
Roger, you're in both series.
You got a little pull, man. I Oh, and speaking of Roger, so word came out that Auto Club Speedway is essentially indefinitely on hold, and they don't really have room to do anything.
Yeah.
Read
As
between the lines. It's dead. The project is dead.
we knew that from day one.
Yeah. It's just
Everybody did.
it's just they've unofficially confirmed it. And they're like, we'd have to spend $300 million. Like, well, I got an idea. You shouldn't have messed with it in the first place.
Maybe you should have spent 10 million and done what you need to and still had a great track.
I heard something, and I haven't validated this, so bear with me if this is incorrect, but apparently Roger Penske had ownership in Auto Club. And he sold his stake when he took over and bought the IndyCar series and the and IMS. And they basically said from the moment that Roger left Auto Club, that place was doomed. And like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but seems viable. The timing of it seems to line up with everything. And
Very well could be.
NASCAR saw an opportunity to grab some cash. And now they're like, well, the Southern California market's very important to us. Like, clearly, you had a perfectly viable racetrack that you destroyed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And NASCAR could make a lot more money without even lifting a finger just by letting IndyCar in at their tracks.
Come back to Phoenix. Just
There'd
for
be a
me.
couple of great
Pure,
tracks.
pure selfish reasons. Come back to Phoenix so I can go to an IndyCar race.
Get back to Chicagoland, get back to Phoenix. Add two more ovals, you got a 19 race schedule.
They're not using Chicagoland anyway. Like the track's fine as far as we can tell.
Then do what you need to get NASCAR back there. There are good races there, lots of grooves.
There's a possibility too that we could see the end of the Chicago street race after this year.
It's been good, but it doesn't need to
It's
keep going.
Yeah, I mean the contract's up. And I think the city's kind of has, there's a new mayor in there now, and it seems like this administration's a little less enthusiastic about it. But yeah, I mean it served its purpose. So the question now is, what do you do in its place? And you've they gave up on Road America for this. So do you go back to Road America? Was it? Yeah, yeah.
Road
Or do you
America's a little long, I feel.
or do you go to or do you go to Joliet?
If you keep raging, go to the oval.
I'd go to Joliet. Yeah. I would never argue with another oval on the schedule.
There's possibilities there. The nice thing is we get
It,
Long Beach, then it goes Barber, then it's May, and we all know what that is.
I get the hunch that NASCAR will be back at Chicagoland because people have flown drones, they've seen the track from airplanes, and they said it looks like you could run a race there tomorrow.
I just drove by it, a couple weeks ago.
And it looks, I mean, it looks like it's still in really good shape. Like you can't say the same for Kentucky. They've
That's a
start,
shame.
yeah, they've started to let that fall apart. But I mean, Kentucky, Kansas, Chicagoland, those are all kind of the cookie cutter.
They had great racing.
I
Kansas
don't.
is a playoff race now too.
Yeah, I mean Kansas has been a really good track for the next gen car. A lot of entertaining races there. So Darlington, we had our throwback weekend. We had a Carl Edwards sighting. Had Kyle Larson eat it on like what lap two
Lap
or
four,
something. Or yeah,
which is a shame. I like the paint.
we got the Tony the Tiger throwback.
It's funny. Some people are like, okay, I'm done with the throwbacks. Others are like, this is great. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't force everybody to do it, I think there's a
One, two,
lot of
great.
good. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of waiting for that of her legacy to take the 43 and do that baby blue color. Just solid baby blue.
They
Like
had a
Richard.
nice SDP throwback.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you remember the older generation where it was just like a Plymouth that was just baby blue, had no
Oh
sponsor
yeah.
logos on it, just a white 43 with just it was a beautiful car.
The one I want to see is Byron run a nice red car. Throwback to the JP.
The Jurassic, yeah, that'd be pretty funny too. I'm just thinking of like what other cars could you throw back to?
Bring back the X-Side car. It's sitting right there.
I do. I'm looking back here. Yeah, it's you got the X-Side car. You do a Circuit City.
I like the new McDonald's paints, but man, let's bring back Bill Elliott's.
You could bring back the Mac tonight.
That was great.
I think you need to do a Mac. I mean, Mac tonight hasn't been a thing at McDonald's in 30 years, but it was a great paint. I mean, I have it in here. We're pulling out the Mac tonight car here. Go on to the display case.
They have the small one somewhere.
And this thing was beautiful. The Taurus, this is 90, yeah, 1998. But yeah, the Mac tonight guy on the front. And I mean this thing was beautiful. And Bill Elliott. One of my friends made a reference to Mac tonight and not that long ago for some reason I don't remember why, but I took a picture. I'm like, I got a Mac tonight NASCAR in my display case.
No,
And,
I cannot remember the driver. I think it was a Bush car at the time. The spam car.
I can help you with that. Mike Wallace.
Yes.
Got the spam Monte Carlo. This is 97. See if you can read this.
Yeah, I found my case of cars I have opened.
No, 1995. Is that the first year for the Monte Carlo?
94 was Lumina
Yeah, so this would have been the first year for the Monte Carlo.
because Gordon was in the Lumina at the Brickyard.
That's right. I have I've been to the Spam Museum and it's exactly what you expected it what it would have been.
So chalk up another first for our show.
Got the
The I
Kmart,
have the small one in my case right here.
got the Jeremy Mayfield Kmart RC. That's quite a combo right there. Kmart and Royal Crown Cola.
I got to meet Jeremy Mayfield. It
What was that experience like?
was fun. It was at a Ford Fan Day at Indianapolis. I forget what I got signed by him.
What was he like? Do you have any memory of that?
From what I remember, he was pretty mellow, just talking to fans, signing autographs, and just,
That's the thing is even the drivers who came off as kind of hotheads, for the most part, them with the fans are always pretty chill. As long as
Ford fan days at Indy were fun.
they were.
I think I got to two or three of them.
We met Ricky Rudd the one year.
Yeah, got that. It's actually where I got Bill Elliott's autograph.
Remember,
Todd
remember when
Parrott.
so it was at the old RCA Dome, and we go into the Ford Fan Day, and they basically for the autograph session, you had to like go to a section of the stadium seating. You're on the floor, and you had to like run over there. So everybody ran to Dale Jarrett. I remember that because I think we were like, let's go get Dale Jarrett, and it filled up immediately. So
The
like, okay,
line was like, no.
yeah, like Ricky Rudd, cool, Ricky Rudd, that's fine. I do remember another driver who was signing autographs in that session. It was Dave Blaney,
Oh yeah,
father of Cup champion Ryan Blaney.
indeed.
Oh yeah, so we went for the Ricky Rudd, and I still have the autograph. It's I think I have it actually over in my closet. I'm pretty sure I need to frame that actually.
I have it somewhere.
I have my photo of him. I'm like shaking his hand in the photo, like I'm like doing like a grand opening of a you know gas station or something. Shaking his hair like,
Part I like best, Ford fan day, and I'm wearing a Gordon hat.
yeah, that is. Yeah, I do
I haven't
remember
been a
that.
fan of Ford for pretty much ever.
I mean, it's the Ford brand has just been like it's just you think of Ford for two reasons, and you think of trucks and you think of racing, and that's what they've built their whole identity around.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason that they gave up on Chevy gave up on the Camaro and Dodge gave up on the Charger, but Ford's like, we're still making the Mustang. People still want it. Why would we not make it?
Good times on those.
Oh, Darlington, we were in the middle of that and got derailed as usual.
Hey, it's throwbacks. We threw it back.
Yeah, I'm throwing it back. Maybe somebody needs to do the Brad's driving the six. Maybe you should do the Viagra car.
Bring it back. So William Byron pretty much destroys the first two stages. Then pit stops happen and he's 6 seconds behind.
Yeah. They announcer jinxed him. They said that William Byron is leading here, and that's usually not a good sign if to be leading at this point. It wasn't.
Then with 4 laps to go, Kyle Larson spins again.
Yeah.
Now the debate's out there. Did he get help? Was it a team thing? Because Bubba Wallace got into him, but Larson's coming off turn two, sees Reddick smack the outside walls, so the SMT data shows that like he braked or let off when he hadn't been doing it, and Wallace can't see what's going on, so he got into him. And then the 11 team has a just fantastic pit stop,
Oh,
and that was it.
and then he just ran away. He's gone.
Yeah, he got away. Then they were fighting two, three, four, and in 2 laps at Darlington, you're not catching.
Nope. He was
He
gone.
jumped out like half second by the end of lap one.
Oh, he was flying. Yeah, that was just veteran, crafty veteran right there. Got his.
Uh, Two in a row for Denny.
Yep, he got his 2 wins in a row. Got his clock last week. That is one of the cooler trophies. It's the grandfather clock.
Everybody wants a clock.
I mean, Ty Gibbs wrecked his teammate to get a clock a couple years ago.
The clock would be cool, but the sword at Bristol would be kind of cool too.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that one.
I mean, you want the Daytona trophy just because of just how insane that trophy is. I still remember after Ricky Stenhouse won a few years ago, the 500, he went to Waffle House and he brought the trophy with him into Waffle House.
Yeah, Daytona's a fun spot to go to.
I remember the employees like, "You won? You won?" Like, well, yeah, he's carrying the gigantic trophy. Of course he won. He didn't just steal it.
Yeah, that one and the Borg Warner, the two most iconic trophies in racing. Somebody's gonna give me flack for that. Well, you forgot about this one. Yeah, maybe I'm biased.
Whatever.
Qualify it. And what Bristol
Yeah, we got Bristol this week. Someone's gonna get mad at somebody.
always.
Maybe we'll have a repeat of last year with the tires falling apart.
I hope so.
I do too. I really want that to happen.
I want to see tires that actually degrade and you have to save tires. And if you burn them up too early, you're gonna suffer.
That was so funny last year with Goodyear. Like, we've released an emergency set of tires for all the teams mid
I
race.
I still think that was maybe one of the most entertaining races of the entire year.
Yeah,
'Cause you
maybe of
actually
the
had to sit and watch the race because you didn't know what was going to happen from one lap to the next.
that might be the most entertaining race of the next gen era.
And I thought it was fantastic.
I did too. And
Because these races now, you don't even have to watch except for like the last 10 laps. Because, yeah, you're going to miss some wrecks here and there and maybe some bumps that leave some egos
somebody
bruised, but there's
somebody gets
nothing
mad
going
at
until the last
somebody.
10. They just drive around and maybe make some passes. Somebody's going to inevitably drive out to a 7 second lead. And
God.
it's like, how is that one car so much better than all the others?
Oh, I gotta renew my Peacock subscription this weekend.
Yeah, man, I hope they do it. Bet we're probably gonna have a tire that lasts forever and they just drive
Kyle
around.
Larson leads 473 laps or whatever it was in the fall.
We'll see. Got to run the race.
So I've finally finished episode one, first to the finish
I
with
haven't had a chance to start yet.
I finally got through it. It was pretty intense. Actually, if you go to I just pulled up the Mazda MX-5 Cup website, and the first thing is they've got the first to the finish banner on there.
Yeah, I do need to get to it, and it's on my to-do list. I just got to find the time to do my to-do list.
What it's funny is so this was the 2024 season, and in the second race, Heather Hadley got into Sally Mott and spun her, and they were really upset at Heather over it. And like she just got it, she just ran over me. And they posted a video of they've been doing the press tour together for this whole thing, and you can see they're cool with each other. And they posted this thing. It's like, what do you think's gonna happen? It's like, will we make up or are we gonna get even madder at each other? And like considering the two of you were eating dinner together when you posted that, like I think we know the answer. Uh, their next MX5 Cups next is Barber May 2nd through 4th. And then they go to Mid Ohio in June. They go to Canadian Tire in July and VIR in August and Road Atlanta in October.
We have a good
MX5
race
Cup.
series. That'd be a fun one to field a car in.
MX5 Cup is a lot of fun. Um,
Get in, into it.
they used to
Spread
go
out a
to
little bit.
they used to go to Road America too. A friend of mine used to do photography at Road America for the event.
Based out of Orlando, it'd be a easy drive to most of the races.
And well, and a lot of the teams are based in the Orlando, Daytona area as well.
Might be something we have to look into.
Be a lot of fun.
May not be the IndyCar, but
I mean,
it's something. Start
Dale
somewhere.
Jr. was talking about the charter system for NASCAR, and it's like, okay, you've got some value, that's great, but like the to buy into the Cup Series, like you have to be a billionaire now, and that sucks.
It's insane how much charters are going for.
Like, what did BJ McLeod get for his charter? He gets something like 35, 40 million or something
Yeah.
like that for his, and it's probably more than that now if you want to charter. Then IndyCar has a charter system now as well, and
Yeah, because the charters just consolidated down to fewer teams.
honestly, like if you're gonna break into racing in the future, it's like you're just giving people more of a reason to go to IMSA, go to MX5 Cup, start in the
Yeah, getting there, IMSA.
Radical Series. You could go into, they've got the Ferrari Challenge and the Ford Mustang Challenge that they have out now.
To be fair to ARCA trucks, Bush, Indy Next,
Bush,
those are still uh, it's what Xfinity series.
Bush, please come back. Please come back, Bush.
So you can still get into those. I goofed. I probably shouldn't wear this hat on our show because this is Harvick's version. He runs happy hour.
Yeah, well,
We're not
you
competing with
didn't have to tell them that. Like you could just tape a one on the
Rochester.
side. Yeah, tape a one on the side.
No, we're idiots. So of course I'm going to say it.
That's what we do.
Why not?
We're stupid. We're dumb. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just like every other show out there.
Not wrong.
I really don't care. I just I don't care. Roast me, insult me. I don't care.
It's
I,
pretty
I
much
really
here's
don't.
the thing. If you watch news, it's people giving opinions. The shows on TV are people giving their opinions on what just happened. So I think we're on equal terms to everybody. We're giving our opinions and we share a lot of random knowledge that is meaningless.
And just because I own the channel doesn't make it. Oh, I started recruiting actually, trying to pick up a few more shows. So if you are a sports video talk show, game show, but long form content, 10 minutes, hour, we push an hour a lot. Uh, want you on Stadium Scene TV. So there's a good opportunity there with we'll help you with the marketing piece. We'll help you with fixing some things up to help expand your own YouTube channel. Just let us syndicate your show a couple days after you publish your original one. Pairs up nicely with our live events that we're going to continue to grow. We're going to have a fourth one later this year, and you know still working on trying to get Rocket League off the ground on Stadium Scene TV. So a lot of good growth coming up. A good time to jump in, and hey, you can share the channel with us. We air on Saturdays. If you're watching, you're probably watching on a Saturday right now. Oh, there we go. There's my plug.
Yeah, do it. I can't I can't say the first word because then it's infringement, but
Uh, you should do it.
yes.
Oh man, I saw this hilarious. Okay, it's obviously not funny, but with the stock market tanking this week, somebody posted a picture of Nike's stock like dropping, and they said with like, this is great news if you're a fan of an Oregon rival because that's less money for their NIL.
Yeah, apparently they don't want to step on their 2 cents per hour pay, so whatever.
I mean, Nike, if you want to become our official outfitter, I mean, I don't know, I'm not gonna say no to Nike. I mean,
And that's my
I
school's
own
team
enough
and
of your merchandise as
company,
it
so
is. Like, yeah, let's make it official. We could put a swoosh on the side of this hat.
I have so much Nike swag that I have not had to buy because of athletics. Hey, bring it on.
Let's do it. All right. On that note, let's see. Bristol, Bahrain, and Long Beach. We got some IMSA this weekend. We got a full slate of racing, so one of them's got to be good.
You would think.
I mean, Bristol's usually pretty good.
I'll put my money on Bristol as the best race for the weekend.
So we got
IMSA will probably be good, but I probably won't watch, unfortunately, just because I'm
don't
busy and too much stuff going on.
you don't want to reactivate that Peacock subscription.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to delete it.
So we
No,
got
it's
trucks
more
Friday night.
I watch too much racing and I hear about it.
Yeah, I do too. Like I've basically on Sundays now, I get criticized when I put a race on in the living room. So I just go into the kitchen with my iPad and I just sit up on we have like a bar table above our sink and I just sit at the bar table with my iPad and just watch it there. I'm like, if I can't have the TV, I'm gonna just watch it on my iPad.
Yeah, I my new phone, I have a habit of going through phones. It has Disney Plus, so I get ESPN, so I can watch Formula One on that.
There you go. Disney Plus. Well, for now, they're losing it after this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still most
yeah,
of
I
the
was about to
season
say you're
picked
gonna
up.
either have to buy an Apple or a Apple TV Plus subscription, or you're gonna have to get an F1 F1 TV Pro subscription.
I will check the results. We'll see who picks it up.
I mean,
But
Apple TV Plus, I think, is only like $6 a month. It's not awful.
I
And
think Heather has it, so I'll watch it on
yeah,
hers.
yeah, oh, there you go. And
My wife's
honestly,
name is
like
Heather, not Heather Hadley. Just
my
to,
my favorite new show that's out right now, which a new episode came out, I need to watch it, is The Studio. And it's a Seth Rogen show where he becomes the head of a movie studio in Hollywood, and the camera work on that show will be talked about forever and taught in film school. It's unreal. Like they do these whole scenes where it's just very smooth following around and there's this one scene at the start of an episode where the camera's on the front of the car as they're driving through Hollywood to go to a set, and the car parks, and just smooth, same thing. They get out of the car, and the camera just picks up and just starts following them, all in
Hmm.
just this big one smooth process. And they did this whole scene in a single take. And you're just watching this, like, how did they do that? But the best part about it is somebody posted this clip and just said, "How did they do that?" And somebody went like, "Oh, they did this and this and this." And Seth Rogen himself, who never uses Threads, went on to Threads just to reply back to the person, "That's not even close to right."
That's awesome.
Seth Rogen went out of his way to use a social media platform he does not use to tell somebody they're wrong about his work.
Says how wrong you were to have somebody feel they had to do that.
I mean, Seth Rogen's done just so many great things over the years, and starting with, he was in like Knocked Up and Super Bad, The Disaster Artist he was part of, which is really good. Have you seen that one?
I have not seen that.
It's so good. It's about the Tommy Wiseau film The Room, which is seen as like the best worst movie ever, and it just documents like the chaos behind how this movie somehow got made and how bad it was. And Seth Rogen plays like a production assistant or producer or something in it, and just it's so good, it, hilarious.
Might have to take a peek at that one.
Yeah, it's a really good cast. Like it's James Franco plays Tommy Wiseau, and his brother Dave Franco plays his friend who co-stars in the room, and oh God, who all is in it? Yeah, Seth Rogen,
It's
as I
fun when you
mentioned.
have the same people that do movies over and over again.
Yeah, it's just they've got that rapport.
Same thing with like Sandler. All the same people are always together in those movies.
One of the best jokes in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Andy Samberg's he's like undercover, he's at some auction and Adam Sandler's there. And he made some joke about uh he's about his movies, and he's like, I'm making a serious movie about the communist revolution in Russia. And he's like, oh yeah, who does Kevin James play? And he's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And he goes, Trotsky. Let's see. Zach Efron is in The Disaster Artist. Uh, Megan Mullally's in there. Bob Odenkirk. Judd Apatow has a sort of a cameo. Kristen Bell, Kevin Smith, Keegan Michael Key, Adam Scott all do like this, like explaining the room at the beginning of the film. It's really good. You need to see it if you haven't yet.
I'll look into it.
It won an award for best script or something like that, best screenplay. Uh yeah, got a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, which doesn't always yeah, James Franco won a
At one point, Rotten Tomatoes scored everything terribly.
yes, they did. I guess it just got nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the Academy Awards, but still, it got an Academy Award. A Seth Rogen movie got an Academy Award nomination.
Doing something right if you're getting that.
James Franco directed that movie. Yeah, produced by Seth Rogen. Anyway, yes, watch The Studio. It's hilarious. There have been 3 episodes so far. In the third episode, I won't spoil it, but in the third episode, he gets in a fight with Ron Howard.
Oh man.
It's fantastic. You need
Well, I'll have to take a peek at that.
oh yeah. It's so good. Catherine O'Hara's in the show too. And yeah, she's really good. And Bryan Cranston is partly in it. He plays the owner of the studio. He's this like really goofy, eccentric guy, and I don't think there's anything bad Bryan Cranston's ever done.
Yeah, him and James Franco have starred together already.
Anyway, so there's your TV and movie update for the week, 'cause it seems like that's becoming a somewhat regular segment on here.
Somehow. It is garage talk.
I yeah, I mean, you grab some beers and you sit around and you talk about whatever, mostly racing, but
Not for a headache earlier today, I would have hops in this.
I mean, I had a headache too, but I just like whatever. I'm gonna have a headache anyway. All right, so I think we better wrap here. So, again, thank you for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you download your favorite podcast. Maybe make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll keep doing this. And if you don't, we'll keep doing it anyway.
Yep.
So,
Thanks for tuning in. Come out Tuesday night, watch the Indy Racing World
oh, that's
Series
right.
take on Indianapolis.
And on that
10-17 green flag.
And on that note, we got another week off before we start our truck season in Wednesday Night Dash. Might have 2 openings with drivers. Got a couple drivers sitting out because they're not a big fan of driving the trucks. So, if you want to come race with us on Wednesday nights, head to frracingonline.com/WND. Get your registration in. It'll be first come, first serve. So, you better register, otherwise, you'll end up on the waiting list. So, it's nice to have a waiting list for our series. I mean, we
You got 3
struggled.
races left on Indy. Race there.
Yes, and we'll get you into Indy too, but we struggled for a long time to get drivers into Wednesday Night Dash. Now it's like we have a waiting list.
Fun to see.
Yep. At F
Good work.
Racing Online. Enjoy the racing this weekend, and thanks for watching.
Take care.